Today, probably way too much talk in the chat room, but it was the hot topic, of course, the future of Scott Frost, Nebraska, after their yet another disappointing loss in game and close loss, but a loss in what they have become now, who they are. A team that loses, a team that finds a way to lose, a team that cannot understand momentum or keep it and even screw it up whenever they might have it.
Yeah, well, as far as those extracurriculars, I mean, I do thank Nebraska for at least, keeping that alive right out of the outset and giving us a topic that's not actually results related as much as I just talked about that. Like, it actually be good to see, okay, is Casey Thompson going to matter in Nebraska? Is O'Shawn Mathis? Or was that all just a bunch of celebration in the offseason? Because everybody celebrated their transfer gets and all that. But, what does it ultimately turn into? I'm like, we've done all the hype and the hope and the optimism and all of that. What does it really come down to when it boils down to it? And Nebraska fans got a wake-up call right out of the gates. All that O'Shawn Mathis, Casey Thompson, Scott Frost, man in the hot seat, Mark Whipple, all these things. And that was fun to talk about, but then there's reality. And reality is they're already in a hole. They're in a hole 1 week into the season, and Scott Frost is in a lot of trouble, and I don't know if he's going to be able to dig himself out of this trouble. I certainly think they can go and win some games this year, but I'm not in the big chair in Lincoln, and I don't know what that would even be viewed as or what they need to see moving forward. All I know is that that's just the worst start you could have gotten off to outside of just being blown out. So hopefully folks had a fun time out in Ireland. I watched a bit of that, and looked like Nebraska had a chance to win that game at various points, but credit to Northwestern and credit to, just them being able to make more plays and play better football overall. But, yeah, just a downtrodden start to the season for Nebraska Cornhuskers fans, and a bunch of people are going to join them this weekend, and a bunch of fan bases that have been celebrating all their new recruits and their new facilities and all that. You're going to be right in that same boat, and there's going to be a bunch who maybe we would think otherwise are going to be pouting, and they're going to be celebrating. And I can't wait to see who all those teams are this weekend.
Well, and Scott, we said it yesterday, Craig. I'm kind of curious on this. I think Scott Frost was clearly coaching desperate because the onside kick move was not the move of a guy who was in complete mental control of that game. When you're up by, 2 scores at that point in the game, you don't need to do that. And trying to end the game with 24 minutes left to play, it was kind of how you get yourself in trouble before.
Yeah, I also don't think that was the only reason why.
No.
I know that's what a lot of people are pointing to, and yeah, that was not great. But yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of the same things, just written differently. It's like he wrote the same story, but he just did it in pencil instead of pen. Mm-hmm. I mean, the same types of self-inflicted wounds that cost you, the bad decision-making, just bad timing, can't finish. I mean, it's the same things. It's the same things that have been issues the entire time. And at this point, I don't know that there's a culture fix in the works. I think you kind of are who you are. He's been there long enough to kind of be who they are. And so, again, they can dig out of it, but that was just, not ideal after all that offseason of just kind of knowing what was at stake and knowing what you needed to do. And for that to be how you start, just the worst way to start.
I think that they don't deserve a freaking mention on this show until he's fired.
Well, we'll see.
Well, I mean, he's, talked about it. We're all looking forward to games, but he just set the coaching carousel right along on its merry way. I mean, it was already kind of set up previously, but now that thing's turning already, and it's turning because of Scott Frost.
Absolutely.
So, he took his spot in the captain's chair, and he's probably going to remain there the rest of the year. But, long season ahead, so we'll see what happens. But, just a great win for Northwestern, though. Great way to start the season for them. And, again, I'm sure that was a very fun, unique atmosphere out there overseas.
There was a quote from Pat Fitzgerald. I'm not sure if you saw it or not, but he said, hey, we're the ones that have the culture and the pedigree. We're the ones that it took over the game when the game was on the line. And he was right. They were better, and they won the game. And now that game moves on. Northwestern moves on, and who knows what we see from Scott Frost going forward. Baylor does play Albany. I had a chance earlier today to speak with